It's a mess. Hi, welcome to Miss Annette's little farm in the big city. Well, you guys, we had a big melt yesterday, and a lot of the snow melted, and it's starting to feel a little bit like spring is on its way, so it's very exciting. I can see things coming up out of the ground. It is about mid-February, so I expect that we're going to get some cold weather again before this is all said and done. But it is so beautiful today. And of course, when you start thinking spring, you start thinking seed. I decided to get to work on it right away, and I went into my office and I decided to do it very methodically this year. And one of the things I decided to do was to make a few lists of the vegetables that I am going to be wanting to grow. And I wanted to be very intentional with these vegetables. I want them to be vegetables that we will actually eat, vegetables that I know I can already grow and I won't be wasting any time or space, and herbs that I want to grow. Last spring, when I got my mini greenhouse, I took apart my cold frame. It just wasn't working for me. The goats kept breaking it by stepping on it. So it just wasn't working out for me. But I left that space and I really didn't do anything with it. So this spring, I'm going to be working on that space and converting it into a medicinal garden. So I started thinking about those seeds as well, the medicinal seeds and the herb seeds. And I combined those onto a list. And then I made a list of the flowers that I want to grow. Now, we all know, if you've been following me for any time, you know that I spent a lot of time this fall and a lot of energy and a lot of money planting daffodils everywhere. So I am hoping that this spring we're just going to have a beautiful outpouring of daffodils. So that's really exciting. But I also want to plant a few other flowers in the tea garden, and I'm thinking about actually buying some bushes that will produce green or black tea. So I'm looking into that too. Now, when I go into all of this, thinking about seeds and things like that, I spend a lot of time doing research, looking at books, looking at pictures. I spent a lot of time deciding what I wanted to grow and whether or not I could grow it. Now, with the vegetables, that was pretty easy. It was a short list, and it was stuff that I have already grown before. When it came to the flowers and the medicinal things, I had to really think about what I wanted to grow, what I wanted it to look like, where I was going to grow it, and how hard it would be to grow it for the first time. I've thought a lot about what the flowers looked like, what I think the medicinal garden may look like, and I had to think about it. Think about where the spacing is. Where am I planning on putting those things? So that took a lot of time and effort to think about those things and put those lists together. And then I separated the list into spring, summer, and fall. Especially for the vegetable garden, things I want it to be things that I will grow in the spring, and then you replant with things that will grow in the summer and then fall. I want to look and see what kind of seeds I already have. So I'm going to go ahead and get into my greenhouse and grab my seeds. here's my list of my vegetables that I want, my medicinal herbs, and my flowers. And I made this decision on using a lot of different resources. Of course, the seed catalogs help you to decide on the colors and the variety that you want of the certain things. And it really is helpful to have seed catalogs. It's kind of a double-edged sword because you see all these beautiful things and you want to order them all. But like I said, I want to be very methodical about this. And so I use the catalogs to, if I wanted to get something, I use the catalog to help me see what it looks like, and it also gives you where it grows best and all of that information. So these are good. Of course, you can always use Google as well when you're looking for things. So I made a list of my medicinal herbs and my vegetable garden and some of the flowers that I want to plant. Now that I have this all figured out, and I did a lot of research, and I used a lot of different books as well. I used some books. I got a book from the library about tea. I used this book. Don't let the title put you off. It just has a lot of guide to herbs in it as well. So it does tell you a lot about herbs. And then I have this beautiful book, The Complete Language of Herbs, which has beautiful illustrations. It gives you a lot of common names, the Latin name, and then the folklore behind it. And then, got all that. Then I have these books that I've had for a while, Nature's Garden. And this book is also very good at letting you know the remedies that people and how people use different fruits and vegetables and flowers and herbs in their gardens as for those things. And then I got the Folk Remedy Encyclopedia. And this is really good because it gives you a lot of herbal and vegetable relief folk remedies for those things. Now, these folk remedies are things that people used to use before modern medicine, before the pharmaceuticals came along. And so people would use a lot of these remedies for ailments and things like that. And it's not that I have a lot of ailments. I just find it very interesting, and it's something that I myself have been wanting to research and study more. So I'm really excited this year that I am thinking about putting in medicinal garden and that I have the resources to study and try to learn about it. So that's kind of a fun new hobby for me in my garden. Anyway, so we got all of that all straightened out. And then like I said, I separated it all. And so then this is where I separated it into the seasons, spring, summer, and fall. Because I'm not really planning on, if I do anything in winter, it'll be carrots or something like that, a root vegetable, to see if that will grow. But so then I separated it into categories, all the seeds that I'm going to need, or all the things that I want to plant. So now that I have all of that taken care of, it's time to go through my seeds and figure out whether I need to purchase any more or whether I need to throw some out that are outdated and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember last year we took this little box and we organized it very well, and since then it's getting a little bit disorganized, but it's still pretty organized, and I'll show you how I have it organized. I have my cold weather crops are in blue, and my warm weather crops are in pink. And then I have my herbs in the back. And it looks like I've got a little bit of a mess, so I need to clean this out. But So what I'm going to do is, so what I will do with this, I have some seeds that I also got from the garden, because that's one of my things that I've been trying to do is collect seeds from my own garden, and that's something that I've been trying really hard to do. So what I will do with this and use my list, I will look to see if I have seeds for anything that's on my list. I don't know where this seed. Oh no. We need better envelopes. Spinach. I do have some spinach. That's nice. But now I have my list. I have my garden journal. And now we can get started. And the thing is that I can use, and that's why I divided everything up into three seasons. I divided it into 3 seasons. So right now, when I write in my garden journal, I'm going to be planning for the spring season right now, because that's the season that is coming up. And I should probably have some, so in here I have some space so I can write when the last frost is, or yeah, the last frost. So we will write last frost and first day of spring. And we'll put those dates on there. And sometimes those are important things to remember, especially when you're planting seeds, because a lot of the time when you're looking at the seed packets, they're going to say so many weeks after the last frost or so many weeks before the last frost. So it's kind of important to have that date in mind when you're looking at your seeds. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the vegetable garden. That shouldn't take too long. Beets. What else? Now I have been sketching some things out because I've been thinking about, like I said, this medicinal garden. So I have on some scrap pieces of paper trying to work things out, working out the vegetable garden for spring and working out the new herb garden and the medicinal garden for spring. So I will go ahead and sketch those areas out. and I have this kind of sketched out. So this is the table, and then this will be the new medicinal garden, and this is where the greenhouse is, and then the fairy garden leads to this way. And I have these circles where I think I will plant the plants. Some of these in the herb garden that we have here with the little fountain, some of those are perennials, so they will come back, like the sage and the yarrow and the oregano. And I've been planning on putting a couple of coneflowers in there just to make it prettier. And then, so this is my kind of idea for my medicinal garden, to make that one area over there so that the whole thing will be surrounded by gardens here. And it gets a lot of sun in this area, so that'll be good. So I already have some perennials planted here as well, some thyme and some coneflowers, some sedum. And I did plant last year, I sprinkled in some lavender and rosemary, and it looked really nice with that. So that is going to be that. So then I, have this whole thing planned out. Of course, this is just a rough sketch, and I'll probably need to make it a little bit better and try to figure out, because I have to decide, because here is a tree. There's a big tree right here, a hemlock tree. And I have to decide whether I want to keep it or not, because it's kind of growing crooked. So we'll see. We'll have to think about it. But we've got plenty of time, because spring is coming, but it's not tomorrow. So plenty of time to work on this and fine tune it. Plenty of time to order my seeds or go get my seeds so that I have them. And there we go. A lot of people are already planting their seeds in little boxes and getting them ready. Last year I planted my onion seeds in seed snails, and it was successful, but I just never really have any luck with onions. And so this year I decided to not plant any onions. I'm not going to do it, and instead I will be moving the blueberry bushes to where I planted the onions, and using that space to plant some asparagus plants. So I am going to be changing some things around. But that's what I have a garden journal for, so that I can, in my mind, picture where I'm going to put things. So let's go out to the garden and kind of take a look at where things are going to be. So this is the herb garden, and we will have oregano growing in here, and I wonder if the parsley will come back as well, because it kind of looks like it will. So I may have some things coming back in this garden that I've planted before, and it looks like the yarrow is already, look, my little yarrow is already starting to come back. So then there's the sage. So the herb garden looks pretty good. Now the vegetable garden will be going through a transformation as well, because I have my little circle things, and I really liked the way it looked, and it was productive. So that was really nice too. Let's look over here, right, Brownie? Let's look over here. And this garden I planted a lot of lavender. It has roses, and it has a lot of perennials and hostas and things like that growing in this area here. Oops, I forgot there was a lot of ice here. I almost fell. So this will be my new medicinal garden area here. Now, I don't know if I want to just make it from here to there, because I'll be digging up these bricks that led to that little pathway, because we're not going to do that anymore. And eventually we're going to have to get a new fence. And I need to not see that anymore. We want it to go up again. And so am I going to get rid of this tree so that I can make it this big? I almost don't think I have to, because look at all, I already have all this space right here. We'll wait till the snow goes out to make that decision, right? And then, like I said, I'm going to be ordering some plants for tea leaves to put in the tea garden. So that'll be really exciting. Oh my gosh, everything looks a disaster. Okay. And I've got this planter here, so I can plant something here too. And I think I am going to plant something that will vine up. Just wait, you guys. This garden is a little garlic sticking out. See that? So it was a fun day thinking about gardening today. We have a good start and good ideas on what's going to be happening here, especially in the vegetable garden. Now, I will continue using my journal to help me plot out my other gardens that I have here on the little farm. And I will share that with you as well when I get started with that. Boy, it really feels good to be thinking about it. I am really excited, and I know you are too, because you are all gardeners just like me, getting ready to get our hands out and into that soil and making those earth to self connections. And I'm really excited for you and for me. And I'm so glad that I get to share all of that excitement with you. So thank you so much for stopping by and visiting me here on Miss Annette's little farm in the big city. Try to get outside today if you can. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. And I will see you next time. Bye. Love you. Hi.